The problem with planning too much ahead is that you nearly always have to rearrange your plans, as the world doesn't revolve around you. Welcome to Night Vale. Good evening, listeners. I'm Intern Kay, and I'm your radio host tonight. I know that I don't have Cecil's perfect voice, but I try my best to entertain you nonetheless. Now, please listen carefully, because I want to tell you a story. A story about the other part of you. You know, the one you try to hide at all cost so nobody will see your flaws. This other part of you is truly overly insecure. It's the same part that plans everything but doesn't do much, and the one that has a lot to say but doesn't know where to start and ends up saying nothing at all. You have always lived with that other part of you. When you were learning to ride a bike, it was there and was convinced that you would never be able to even cross the distance between your dad and the tree. It was there as well when someone accused you of something you didn't do, and you didn't stand up for yourself because the other part of you thought it would only make things worse. And every time you have to deal with love, it is there. Oh, love, such a strange and complex feeling, and the other part of you doesn't always know where to draw the line between the numerous forms of expressing this feeling. But first, traffic. Do you sometimes take the bus? If so, do you wonder if the bus drivers always drive the same buses on the same itineraries? Or do they switch? I mean, it would make sense if they stayed on the same ones because, well, it's easier to memorize only one itinerary. These are the sorts of questions that can keep you awake or run in circles in your mind while you're trying hard to concentrate on something important. No? Oh, so it's just me then. Well, I would be incapable of memorizing several routes and detours. Yeah, bus driver is definitely not a job for me. This has been traffic. Let's get back to this other part of you. So let's say that it's a Saturday, at the very beginning of September. The other part of you is getting ready to see your ex crush after several months. You, as in the other part of you and the main, decided to focus on friendship only. The main part of you was truly happy to see your friend and didn't understand why the other part was not smiling brighter. Was it a potential date with this beautiful, tall, so well dressed, and funny girl? Was it a fake Polaroid? Or maybe the absence of a hug, or even just an arm around the shoulder? The truth was that the other part of you could have cried over these stupid little things. During the rest of September, you watched from afar, being careful about every move you made. Remember the first time you went to a crush apartment? You didn't even know where to lay your eyes. You were very, very afraid of overstepping boundaries. It wasn't an easy month for your crush. You tried to show some support to them, but you're more like a sponge than anything. You didn't know how to explain that you were sad being unable to relieve your crush of their pain, sadness, and anger. But then again, you thought, it's not about me, so you continued to try concealing your feelings. September gave way to October. Nothing really changed. It was just autumn. But wait, are these drops running down your cheeks? It's probably rain. It has to be rain. You already cried last year and the year before. You didn't move on at all, did you? Especially that other part of you. In November, the rational main part of you tried to put some sense in the other part of you. You're not in love anymore. But because of these times, these little times of hope, the other part of you couldn't help wondering if your crush liked you back and wanted to ask, hey, do you feel like we have something? Or is it just me again? You're special to me, so I'd like to be special to you too. So you started to think about a way to tell your crush how you felt about them. December arrived, and someone revealed to you that they also had a crush on your crush. That made you reconsider your plans. Plus, a lot happened during that month for you, for that person, and for your crush. By the way, is it still relevant to say crush after 2 years? It seems like crush is not strong enough, so yeah, maybe major crush? Anyway, you didn't make any move yet because you were feeling that it still wasn't the right time. However, the other part of you would have loved to tell in a passive aggressive but caring way to that one specific tall person who'd be like, I'ma protect you. Well, okay, little giant, but who's gonna protect you? Just know that little ones too can climb on a bench or something, hug you and kiss you, telling you that things will be okay. Just saying. In the end, you told your crush that you will have something to say in January instead. You added that it wasn't important. Shaking my head. The beginning of January was really chaotic because of the exams, tons of formal documents you had to complete, and stress of what you would say to your crush, how you would say it. You were also afraid of things like the belated Secret Santa, because at first you bought a very cute owl plushie which produces heat for 2 hours if you put it in the microwave. But then you had second thoughts, and it didn't seem like a good idea after all. What if your crush think it's too much? You ended up giving them several little presents. Your crush seems pleased, but even then you thought, maybe I should have given them the plushie. So yeah, on the whole, during the end of the year and in January, you felt a bit under the weather. Oh, seems like the perfect time to take a look at today's weather. Let's go and watch some stars. Tell the tales of the skies. Let me swim in your arms. Find a shelter in your arms. Take you to the orchid at sundown. 'Cause do you know how lonely it can be when you're not around me? So hear me say that I'm aware of the fact that I shouldn't let someone slip. But what you're waiting, but someone is to be said. But it was just painful in my head. So this is the other half of what I wanted you to know. Composed of a quart of what I hope for, and another of the regrets I stole. It's chemistry, you see. It's you, it's me, not us. It's the things that get passed by, the adventures we won't try, when we're facing eye to eye. 'Cause do you know how lonely it can be when you're not around me? So hear me say that I'm aware of the fact that I shouldn't let someone slip. For what you're waiting, but someone is to be said. But it was just painful in my head. So this is the other half of what I wanted you to know. Composed of a quart of what I hope for, and another of the regrets I stole. So now, save that for once. I'll take your hand and say, let's keep the friendship for today. 'Cause oh, do you know how lonely it can be when you're not around me? So hear me say that I'm aware of the fact that I shouldn't let someone sleep. For words you're waiting, but someone is to be said. But it was just painful in my head. So this is the other half of what I wanted you to know. Composed of a quart of what I hope for, and another of the regrets I stole. You sometimes think about last year and the year before. You think about your major crush ex-girlfriend. Wait, major crush still sounds weird. So yeah, whatever, you think about that girl and how she was only right for one thing. The fact that you didn't know your crush well at that time. Well, now you're afraid that you've become too close to your crush and that if you declare your feelings again, it would be the end of your friendship. Yet your crush has told you in all sorts of ways that they care about you and will not turn their back on you. Back on our story. So let's say that it's a Thursday at the end of January. You have planned everything. You would like to do this in 5 steps. As in step 1, the joke you will tell to lighten the mood. Step 2, let them guess why we are here. Step 3, declare your feelings. Step 4, develop. Step 5, careful, remember to respect boundaries. But you're frozen. Well, not exactly. It's more like you are shaking a little. Your crush is kind and considerate, making everything to make you comfortable, and you find it very sweet. But at one point, while they are trying to find out why you made them come here, they said, if it's money you want, I'm afraid. Wait, that's not the one. If you want to confess your feelings, you already did it 2 years ago. Uh oh. Do you hear that siren? It's saying abort the mission. You can't say I love you. Because of this sentence and the thoughts in your head, you are unable to say all you wanted to say. Every thought you already thought before, over Google Docs and talking to yourself. Now it's just a crying shame to have done all of this just to be able to say, I'm glad we are friends. And yes, this is true in a way that you're glad to be friends. It seems like the most precious thing in your life right now. You love the time you spend together, be it just the two of you or with your other friends. You love the discussions that you have, yes, even when there are some minor misunderstandings. You like to give and receive little unexpected presents and attentions. You just wish that there wouldn't be any unrequited feelings involved. You just wish that you wouldn't want to get lost in their arms 24/7. Wish that you didn't fear being useless and unwanted, didn't fear asking for too much affection, etc., etc. I could carry on for 5 minutes. When you think about it, about that day at the end of January, it could have been so simple if the other part of you had been just a little less shy and awkward. Maybe then you could have asked your crush why you never saw them ask for a hug, minus one time. Like, they give lots of hugs but never ask for some. And then maybe, with some extra confidence, you could have added, I wish you would ask me to give you some hugs. And that could have been the beginning of your confessing. Subtle, sweet, not too forward. Even though sometimes it hurts because it is unrequited, you love these random butterflies in your stomach. In fact, you don't really know if it's unrequited, you just assume because you're too afraid to ask. Just as the times when you have hopes, you have fears as well. So you should ask them, face to face, once and for all. And as one of your friends said, Don't delay this for months, saying to your crush and lying to yourself that it's not important, because it is important. More on this as it develops. Alright, whatever you and your crush become, you have to work on this other part of you, because this other part is you. This other part is me. Stay tuned next for the creepy noises that you can sometimes hear in the dark. It's probably just the monster under your bed, or the one lurking in your head. Good night, Night Vale. Good night.